All right, everyone. So, welcome back. We're here for Ataraxia versus ENCE. It's going to be a round robin match. I think this is round 4 of the round robin. I can show you a little bit of where we are on the schedule if I can press the right combination of buttons. Which I think, if I'm good, I can. There we go. So we're in round 4 right now, which is right here. And it's going to be Ataraxia versus ENCE. So I think this is quite an interesting game for a lot of reasons. One, it's 2 of the best teams. If you don't know the rosters, I can show you the rosters as well, because we're doing the map bans live. But these are the rosters in play. And this Ataraxia roster is probably the one teams are least familiar with. Obviously, Kaneo and Shockwave from Ex-Oblivion. Rajaro, a player who was on the bench for a long time. So excited to see him start. He had a pretty good match the last time around we watched. And obviously, Sauna and Gala, who I think were kind of on Ataraxia, the previous iteration of Ataraxia as well. Cloud's also on this team, but right now Sauna is the starter. And if you watched the Ataraxia game from before, you will have seen that actually Sauna was putting in a bit of a clinic, right? Bit of a clinic, really making Vigilante's life hell. So impressive from Sauna, but obviously a sterner test. And if you just watch the scrim that we watched on my Twitch channel, I'll put the link here because this will be a VOD as well, but I'll put the link here. If you're watching this and you didn't see the SSG ENCE scrim from my Twitch channel, Kai and Kev were going off today. They are ready. It's game day for them. They were going off. So I think Ataraxia might not know what hit them. I think what's important as well is Ataraxia, while there is a lot of quality on their roster, the obvious problem that Ataraxia have is these are 2 flex support players. Gala's Lucio is not all that. So when they are forced into this Lucio comps, which is quite common right now in this meta, it's a real huge problem for them. So I'm really interested to see what they play in this series. We can take a little bit of a look at the bans. So let's see. It looks, I don't know what the first sets was. We'll see it at the end. But ENCE normally ban Nepal. They ban Nepal every single time. Ataraxia normally ban Samoa. Meanwhile, Ataraxia normally ban Precio, which looks like what they have done. And ENCE will be banning... and ENCE have banned Eichenwald. I think that's the order. We'll try and pay attention. So now it's on ENCE to pick between Hollywood and Midtown. Can we have a look at... let's see. Hollywood or Midtown? They've got a minute to decide still. They've won... They picked Midtown once before, won it. They've also picked Hollywood once before and won it. So ENCE now in the decision-making side of things. 40 seconds left. One of the big questions around this new ENCE roster is how they look without Goomba and with Crimzo in as well. And so far, we've seen competitive scrims. We didn't see who picked. All right, now we're going to Escort. So Escort-wise, a few different things here. I think both teams have banned Shambali most commonly, and their second ban has been Route 66. So we're going to see Ataraxia ban initially. They take Shambali straight out of the pool. Honestly, if they were really playing the game here, I think Ataraxia could have avoided banning Shambali on the basis ENCE wouldn't want to go to it. So I presume ENCE maybe now... Do they now ban Route 66? It's maybe a little bit different against Ataraxia, because Ataraxia love to play double flex compositions. So I think ENCE really want to avoid where double flex is good. So maybe ENCE want to leave Route 66 open. And they want to ban... What's a better double flex map? Rialto, maybe? I think ban Rialto if you're ENCE. Maybe that's the best double flex map available. I think double flex can be okay on first Junkertown, but after that it's not as good. ENCE, once again, taking their time with their bans, not rushing into it. You saw Ataraxia just insta-click Shambali, which I think means the way Ataraxia are approaching their ban options here is they're basically they just have a map of a permanent ban, essentially. And it seems like that's what they're aiming for here, and that's what they're doing. So it's an okay strategy, but it certainly obviously feels a little bit like it's just like a very simple approach to it. And it's going to be Route 66 actually in that ENCE ban. I thought they might leave that one open, honestly. So now Rialto and Junkertown the options for Ataraxia. Let's see. Can we see what they've picked last time? Let's see. Picked Rialto over time they could. So they probably go to Rialto again here, right? Definitely suits their composition. Yeah, I think ENCE should have banned Rialto, actually. I presume Ataraxia are going to pick it here. Ataraxia debating back and forth. Alright, so Rialto is the choice. It will be Busan first map. I have got the FACEIT lobby invite. So, if I'm good, we can go in game. And I am good. So we're in game. Alright. Alright. So, Ataraxia versus ENCE. This is maybe controversial. This is going to be controversial. Hold on. I need to close my door. Out of respect for the noise, and then we'll lock in for this game. Also, out of respect, I'm actually concerned the cam off as well. I know that will upset people, but the cam is going off because it's an official game, so I want to give it the full screen, you know. Let me find the button right here. There we go. I will disappear from view, but you'll still hear my haunting presence coming over the top. Now, as we focus on this game, I think there's a few key storylines to sort of focus on. I think the big ones are, we saw a lot of double flex being played by Ataraxia in their previous match, and it didn't go all that great. So are they going to try and do the same? How do they make it work? They need to find a way to make it work because these are the players they've got. Likewise, I think Rajaro this is a big step up for him in terms of the quality of team he's on, and I think he had a good debut despite the result. Really need to see another performance here. A very stiff test against ENCE. Meanwhile, for ENCE, you should expect them to win this. They are actually still significant favourites on this. The big questions for ENCE are, what does this ENCE roster look like under Crimzo's leadership? Are they playing similar type of comps? What type of team are they going to be? We saw maybe in the scrim a little bit earlier, they're going to be certainly a team that are happy to type in chat, but what are they gonna be like as an actual team in terms of play style, decision making, what comps they lean into? Some of the early decisions we've already seen is that actually Kev, main man Kev, rather than just being Mr. Tracer, even though he is still Mr. Tracer, we're seeing a lot more Genji for him, which was true in the Goomba era, but we're also seeing a lot more Sojin, and we're seeing a bit of Widow, and we're also seeing a bit more Mei from him as well. So I think expect Kev to play a larger variety of heroes here, and I think he's looked pretty reasonable on most of them. Especially maybe on Sojin, he's not looked the biggest carry, but I think he's still looked pretty good. And I think his Mei's actually really reasonable. Obviously, he still hits a suitable amount of right clicks as you would expect of someone of Kev's quality, but it's more often a like the wall and Mei ult value. But honestly, I actually think Kev's walls, the couple of scrims we've seen him against SFG, have looked pretty reasonable, pretty effective. So I think Kev's Mei is really fine, and I think it starts to feel like they're getting the full spectrum of value out of Kev's talent a little bit more by playing a few different heroes, and it gives them that extra bit of flexibility. The other big question for ENCE is obviously how good will Ghost be? He has been touted as the big upcoming BAP talent for a long amount of time. But how good is good? Can he hang with some of the better flex supports? Can he hang with Landon? I mean, most people can't hang with Landon on BAP. But what about Kaneo? If we start talking about EMEA flex supports, and we acknowledge that Landon is by birth American, as much as we'd like to adopt him and claim him as one of Europe's own, he is quite literally American. When we look at the other best flex supports, I actually think Kaneo is actually pretty high up on that list. So I think Ghost versus Kaneo here is actually a pretty important test for Ghost. I think when we've seen Ghost in some of these SSG versus ENCE scrims, I think it's really fair to say that while Ghost has looked mostly okay, there's been maybe a few too many early deaths in fights, there's been a few too many late lamps, and there's still, I guess, a certain amount of, I don't really call it, a certain amount of shakiness to these performances. We are going to go on to Busan now. Now, Busan, we can check the win rate. Let's see. Busan, not a map that Ataraxia have played before in FACEIT. Meanwhile, ENCE have played it once, won it once, and that was against Meavdron, which doesn't really tell us all that much, as Meavdron are one of the weaker teams. So we're going to be starting on Sanctuary. A very different type of map than a lot of the other ones in play, and it's going to be a TP out of spawn from Ataraxia, and they are on Bap Illari now. It's Bap Illari versus Bap Brig, so I think in theory, I think the Illari should outvalue the Brig here, because look how big, wide, and open this map is, and we can maybe clock in with old Gala on this first fight. We'll peek into this Brig, gets whipped back, but can just drop this pilot and start shooting stuff. We'll be able to pocket Rajara, who is on the ram. Kai is taking this left-hand side, and they're moving all the way back towards the dojo. They're still rotating around. Has to be careful here. Kevster's on one side, Kai is on the other. Gala might just be stuck in the middle of two dangerous DPS players, but it's Shockwave who finds the first pick. Shockwave and Sauna peeking out this left-hand side. Gala's going to move with them. And now, equal angles. Kev's just going to make this move on the right. Do they see him? He's got space on point, but Vessler's just going to get beamed down. Lamp is late from Ghost. The Lamp for Shockwave is good, and now Rajaro and Sauna are able to push the rest of them back. And first fight round to Ataraxia. Now, you have to say, as far as, you know, if you're a team with two flex supports goes, you've got to be pretty happy about getting Busan and getting this. But, oh, you might be a little bit worried that Kai is gone. Widow, and he's immediately beheaded Kaneo. Now a bit of space. Can they find a timing to push Kai here? Kai going to rotate with his team instead. Vesta's going to start touching point. Ooh, miss on Gala, but they still find another pick. Sauna is coming around. He's going to keep hold of the angle, but they have now lost point. Kai's got his eyes on him, though. Sauna just kind of meandering back and forth, full. Just gets his head taken off. And now ENCE have control. Kai onto the high ground here. Looking for this early shot. They're going to peek the window, but Rajaro will get them off. They're all trying to come through this right-hand side now. You can see Shockwave's going to slide on the outside here. They have taken control of Dojo, and they'll force Vessler back to point after his shield dies. Window going to be used. Captive Sun as well. Captive Sun around the corner. It's onto the window, actually, and Sauna's trying to dance around and follow up with it, and they do get Kai as a result. Rajaro is now pushing this right-hand side too. He's cleaned out Massa. Massa's going to be forced to the point. And a reasonable retake in the end here. We see the aggressive Captive Sun come over here, catches them. They do lamp defensively, but the Captive Sun is really hard to deal with. It will kill you through lamp, kill a lot of stuff. And they're able to stabilize. Gala's actually gone to Kiri now as well. So the Tracer swap's interesting. Obviously a much better job at pressuring this Widow, pressuring this Soldier flank. And Gala now on the Kiri can actually play to assist this quite a lot as well. For now, though, they're just staying relatively stacked up main. It's going to be a Dojo fight. Rally push going to be coming in. Gala's going to TP out. Visor will be used as well. They're still walking back from all of this, and the disengage seems reasonable. Shockwave's even dropping this overclock just to keep ENCE at bay. But now, ENCE have got space for Kai, and they can flex their way out. But Sauna is behind. Pressure onto Kai right now. Can he find the kill? Sauna is still going. Kai is under pressure. Flux, meanwhile, onto Kaneo. Oh, he takes him down. Now Vesta is all over the backline, but Sauna has got this kill behind, and it's not just Sauna behind, it's Rajaro as well. They're running as fast as they can here, ENCE, but they are getting chased. And Sauna, Pulse Bomb's going to miss, but Vestler's still low. Rock onto Rajaro, and Vestler survives. ENCE have managed to rotate all the way around, and they have got the kills. They've managed to survive Sauna. But oh my god. Spooky and Ataraxia now find themselves on 98%. Massa's back on Lucio too, so now they can rotate and try and keep shutting down some of these angles a little bit quicker. Thank you for the primes as well, True Blade and Kira. I do appreciate it. As we come into this one, Ghost is going to have window to force the point, or to try and keep hold of the point, I should say. Sauna is on the big flank again at the top of your screen. So far, he's going to be marked by Kev. Gala looking for an angle to maybe help him here, but they're just playing slowly for point right now. Gala looking for a timing to swing. Rock onto Rajaro. He's super low, actually. Rajaro needs this double pocket. They're going to have to Kitsune Rush to help him live, but actually it's Shockwave who finds the opening pick. Now the pressure onto Vessler with this Kirio, and Vessler is just getting punched from all sides. He will fall. ENCE needs to find a way to touch this, but how can they? Sauna's on the backline. He'll take him down. It's now just Kai. He can't touch. He's got no one to shoot at. And what use is a gun with no one to shoot? C9 called from Rajaro. And honestly, I think that was probably the best stage, right? That has to have been the best stage for Ataraxia. And they win it, so that's the good thing. Now we're going to go over, and this is another question mark, because if we look at the comps that both teams are sort of speculating that they're going to walk out with right now, it's going to be a classic Ram mirror. This is something that very much favors Vessler. Something we've seen Kai and Kev do a lot. Interesting to see what Kev does hero-wise. Could play a Sojourn on the really far side or a Widow if he wants to. Or could just go Tracer or Mei. Looks like it will be Tracer now. And Gala has actually gone Illari, so no Lucio. Look at Shockwave and Gala taking this big long flank. Okay, look at Sauna in the respawn queue. They get these early kills, and the idea to play a slow, pokey fight, make use of how wide this point is, even though it's inside. It's actually, if we zoom out here, it's actually massive, right? It's a massive point. If you can get people on both sides, it can be quite effective. The retake is really difficult with Illari, so no surprise to see him swapping offness here. Kaneo goes for the sleep before going back onto BAP. And now we'll get more of a standard mirror. They do have the Mei wall, which should help him get out of this choke in all honesty, but it's still a tricky point. Tricky point. Shockwave's now got the big angle. Chance on Ghost. Ghost is 1 HP, has to use his shift, but it's Garner who falls actually. Kev's just got one in the back. Kaneo's trying to keep him marked, but Kev is causing him so many problems. Lamp not in time for Sauna. And Kev will get all of the cleanup here. Oh, the wall denies Shockwave even having a chance at a trade. And so far, so good. So far, so good. Holding onto his left-hand side. Trying to meet him out for choke. Sauna has gone Tracer now as well. So Kev's going to meet him on the right-hand side, but it's actually a fake. They faked. They were coming out lower, but now they're coming out upper. ENCE not really fooled for it, though. Slow on the choke, and Kai's going to peek it at the same time. Causes him a lot of problems, but they are able to get out of the choke now, Ataraxia. Still a Tracer battle on the top side of our screen, and now an aggressive window, and it's Shockwave who falls first. The lamp comes through. I mean, Rajaro didn't need it ultimately, but they're still pushing with this window. Kev is Sauna's behind, sorry. They deal with Sauna, and now they can walk forward, and it's going to look dominant for ENCE here. In control. All of the ults now for ENCE except for that window, of course. Ataraxia technically do have ult advantage as they've got all of them coming back up. But they've struggled with this retake so far. They've lost someone early in a lot of them. They're going to come out lower here. Vessler's managed to read it again. Sauna's coming underneath for the touch, actually. They're going to try and swing onto the high ground, but Kev is there with a pulse bomb. Kai has the angle, and Kev and Kai, they shut him down. They don't let him move. And this round will just be over. 100-0. No problem at all for ENCE. And we see a bit of an interesting dynamic, right? What would we expect? The more brawl-favored map, ENCE are able to win it. The more double flex favored map in Busan Sanctuary, actually the guys with 2 flex supports are able to win it. So we'll move on to Downtown now. Now, ultimately, I mean, I feel like Downtown has always kind of been a dive map ultimately.
By how the sound moves behind my eyes when I listen.
Doesn't look like we're going to be getting any of that today, though. None of that today. We saw on the previous round that Gala actually would speed out a spawn and then try an Illari swap. We'll see if he does the same thing here. It's going to be a Kiri swap, actually. So yeah, amp out of spawn, then onto the Kiri. So we're going to try the same thing again. Gala's got the early angle. Meanwhile, Shockwave is on top with Kaneo on this Ashe. So Shockwave kind of just has the server admin position. Kai's going to try and re-peek him. Dynamite comes out. Kai, oh! 1 tap, 2 tap, no problem for Kai. And now a chance for ENCE, freedom to move around the map. They turn their attention to Rajaro and Kevin Vessler. They're hitting him from both sides. They do actually peel for him, though. Kaneo and Gala are there. They save him. And Sauna is still on the back line. Sauna is causing him problems. Doesn't have recall. Needs a bit of pocket. Needs a lot of pocket, maybe. But they've managed to stabilize here as ENCE make their way to point, but Sauna is above them, and he is not done yet. Dynamite is good. Doesn't quite finish the kill. Looking for more pressure here. He is able to finish Ghost. We saw Sauna terrorize Vigilante in their previous game, and he's here terrorizing Kanale as well. Lamp comes out, player advantage, and Sauna's got another one. Has the pulse soon if he needs it. Oh, doesn't recall in time, actually. But I think the damage has been done. The damage has been done. Ataraxia are able to stabilize, and even though they concede first flip, they do win the fight. Shockwave on the high ground. Trying to hold aggressively here. Previously, Kai just headshot his way out of this problem for ENCE in the first fight, but might be a little bit trickier here. Shockwave is going to drop. Does have this Bob now as well. Pressure on him as they come out. They do shield everyone through. High Noon's going to be used. Window comes out now. Oh, Mass is going to go straight down. Pulse Bomb is Lamp. Shockwave's going to back up. He has to deal with this Tracer behind. Kev is a problem. They're still trying to deal with it. Kev's been able to kill the Baptiste, but Gala's still pocketing them. They have the Bob. Bob Kyriol comes out. It's an expensive one, and actually ENCE are disengaging lots of this. Shockwave swings onto the high ground with this Suzu. Oh, but the Bob and the Kyriol, they kind of do the same thing. They lose Shockwave for it. Rajaro still has this Annihilation if they want to commit to it here. Considering it, he is stalling it out. Sauna is with him. They will get back onto the high ground. And Master actually beats. Master beats. They're going to use it to try and finish it off. Kai's going to get lamps as well. Kai still needs more help. Sauna on top of him now. And they do manage to stabilize, but for the cost of quite a lot here. Some dodgy ult usage on both sides ultimately. I don't know if Master had to be. Maybe it looks scarier to him, but for Bob here, when they carry ult here, not worth it. You know what they should do? You know what is broken? You know what nobody does? Because you're normally not on the heroes. But if you carry ult and you put Bob on the carry ult, Bob will win you the game. It's an unbelievable combo, Nat. I'm really disappointed that we're not going to see, honestly, as Gala is back on Alari. Disengaged to point now from ENCE. Kevster is behind them. High ground swing, actually, and they just find themselves on the point, and Ghost, the Lamp, doesn't save himself. ENCE are going to try and push aggressively here. Look at Vestler, but Kaneo and Shockwave, they've taken a step back. Galara's on the flank, but Master's got the boop. Vestler's going to pop this Annihilation to keep going. Massa and Vestler looking for a chance to be aggressive. Slow onto Shockwave now. Can they get him? The Finns are doing it. Massa and Vestler, they deal with this, but they've actually lost the flip behind, and oh, Sauna's not done yet. Pulse Bomb goes. It's a Finnish throwdown in an alleyway. And it will end in a stalemate. All three Finns will play their lives. Rajaro is now on point, will form. Window comes out, so Rajaro's going to have to try and get out of this one. No speed, remember, he pops the Annihilation. He gets a lamp as well. He's going to get pulse bombed. Rajaro's going to get that window pocket now. He's taking so much damage. But Shockwave actually finds the kill. It's not over yet. Bob onto point to force the point. Bob will get the flip. They're going to beat back, actually. Can they find the kills? Massa will give a touch. Massa's going to take a lot of damage. Kev is weak behind point as well. They're on the high ground. They're on the low ground. They're everywhere. Kai and Kev combined for another one, but here comes Rajaro. Captive Sun from Gala 2. It misses. Nothing for Gala, but they're still able to get the kills. Sauna in behind onto Massa. It's not over yet. Gala will finish it for him as well. They try and jump Gala, but Gala avoids it. Sauna is with him. Lamp not in time from Kanale, but Sauna's doing it. He forces them back. Ataraxia in control of the point. They will flip it. They are on 95%. It's only High Noon coming back. Both tanks are on Doom. Vesta's going to go bull. The punch! Interrupted by Rajaro. No touch. And Ataraxia are going to win map 1. Great interception from Rajaro. Great interception. And Ataraxia find themselves one map up. We'll see the Kev play of the game. And we'll go back to menu. Alright. What a dogfight that downtown was. Jesus Christ, huh? Jesus Christ. Now it feels like my scoreboard isn't super correct right now. Let me have a... Oh, I am going to get invited to the next one. Obviously, we're now going to Midtown. Oh, no, sorry, Hollywood as well. It was Midtown, it was banned. We are going to... Going to Old Hollywood. And this is a map that, in theory, should be pretty favorable to some double flex compositions. We've seen teams run backbreaker or types of that, so I imagine we're going to see a lot more of Gala on a lot more of Gala on Kiri or on Alari or anything like that. Meanwhile, ENCE now find themselves in a bit of a predicament, right? A bit of a predicament. One map down. The scoreboard is automatic, so I think it will fix itself. What sometimes happens with the scoreboard is because it pulls directly from FACEIT, if it's updated wrong on FACEIT, if it's an updated wrong on FACEIT, because it just pulls information from there, it sort of needs that to be correct. So it should fix itself over time. We're just going to have to put our hands together and pray. Trust the process, trust the system. But what a great start in this series from Ataraxia. What a great start. Hollywood will be next. No substitutions, no changes from either team. No surprises there. And I think really you have to talk about, when we talk about what went right for Ataraxia, is one of the things that went right was the map. Out of all of the stages, out of all of the maps available, I think Busan has to be one of the best maps for Ataraxia, actually. They're probably pretty pleased with being able to play that. I think if they found themselves on a Nepal or something, that would have felt a lot harder. I can actually look. Thank you, Solomon. I know I'm on a delay, so it'll be a while before you hear that, but I appreciate you looking into it. I know it happened once before where it was a problem with the score was just reported wrong on FACEIT, and therefore when the scoreboard pulled the information, it didn't work out. So it might be that, which means it will be fixed when it gets fixed on FACEIT. I mean, I'll try one more refresh just to be sure, but it'll fix itself in time. I'm sure of it. I trust Solomon. I trust Solomon with my life, not just with my HUD. I trust him with my life. It seems like SSG's match has gone particularly well, as they all join us in chat. And now we move on to Hollywood.
Ready for battle.
And this was of course the choice of ENCE. ENCE wanted to take us to Hollywood. I just want to look through the veto again, because let's see. ENCE banned Nepal. Ataraxia banned Samoa. Yeah, I feel like ENCE want to play Nepal, no? Do ENCE always ban Nepal? Is it just a permaban? Thank you. Thank you for the gifted sub to Haddy, Brooklyn Banana. I'm sure Haddy will be very grateful for it. Yeah, ENCE just always ban Nepal. Nepal seems to be ENCE's permaban, so they just stick to their permaban. As we go into a pause, they stick to their permaban rather than taking Busan away from the double flex team. And okay, we've got a couple of disconnects now. Where's everyone going?
Chris.
Another gift from Brooklyn Banana? For always Beezy? Thank you very much. Congratulations, Beezy. Shockwave wondering where his team has gone. A reasonable question. Don't celebrate too early. Don't get the beers out now, Ataraxia. You've still got another map to win. Oh, the scoreboard has fixed itself. Nice. I don't know if it was Solomon or I don't know if it was the FACEIT gods, but whoever it is, I'm grateful for. We can pray to multiple deities. And this pause, don't they normally get 14 minutes? Don't they normally get 14 minutes? Or 15 minutes even, rather. But this started on, like, what, 2 minutes? Oh, we're actually going to run out of time here. What happens? Does it just automatically unpause at 45 seconds? This could be a problem, no? How many people are in lobby? Kanale is back. But where's Rajaro? Where's Rajaro? 30 seconds, plus obviously 15 seconds of normal time, but what happens here? An interesting predicament. An interesting predicament, to be sure. I don't know if we have... No, it's just me, Toniki, in the lobby. Alright. Let's lock in for this one, because it'd be a real shame, because Ataraxia are in such a good position after winning that first map. And now they get to play Hollywood. And then, third map is Rialto as well. Like, it's actually an insane pool if you're a double flex team. As far as maps go, if you're a double flex team, Busan, Hollywood, Rialto, you're pretty happy with that. And Rajaro's back. Rajaro's back, and Ataraxia are on attack. So it all works out okay in the end. Woo! Woo! Alright, let's lock in. Close call from Rajaro. He makes it, though. And now, a Ram Mirror, but as you would expect from Ataraxia, it's not going to be Ashe, Illari, Bap again. Now, it's going to be quite difficult on attack. How can you get the space for your Bap? How can you get space for your Illari? We're going to take top initially, but oh, ENCE are ready to tango. They force him off the low ground. It's just Rajaro up there now. And to be fair, Rajaro gets a pretty good slow. He's got himself in the choke, but he needs more help. We'll give a pocket now, but he's had to concede it. And ENCE, they use a lot of their cooldowns, but they hold on. But now they're going to turn to a point force. Sauna has the high ground now. We'll try and come behind, but oh, Massa and Kai is there. Kai now has the high ground. He's getting shot back. Gala hits him, goes for the finish. Can't find the jump shot. ENCE are going to have to stabilize. Sauna has his recall force behind him. Vessela's weak on point. They have control of the high ground here, ENCE, but they are losing the cap. Now the window. Gala gets back inside. Rajaro wants to push out Kev, but here come ENCE. The cavalry has been called. But Kanale's connected with Rajaro, but he's not able to save him. Now the chase into the back. Kanale is alive behind. But to what end? It's a messy, messy fight. Pulse Bomb is going to miss now as well. They're holding on to this high ground, and Kanale is on the flank. They're holding this top, but here comes ENCE. Here they come. Captive Sun in response. It catches them all. Can they trigger the explosion, though? Vessela will explode. Can they kill him? He's low. Gala wants to chase him. Sauna's the other side. Kanale has actually managed to regroup with his team throughout all of this, and they can actually stabilize. No Ram as well, so they can keep forcing point. There's surely a chance to go kill Ghost here, and yeah, Gala wants to push him. Gala ain't scared. Meanwhile, though, Massa and Kevs are trying to make the play, but a one-for-one trade on the left. They bought time here, though, ENCE. If they can keep touching for a little bit, if Kev can touch a little bit more, Vessela can get there, but no. Kev can't get the touch. So ENCE have to concede the point. They'll catch Kev on the way out as well, and they have Lucio with him, so ENCE should be able to get everyone out here. Kai takes the elevator and doesn't wait for Vessela. Really rude from Kai, and now Vessela. Let Vessela get the elevator. Come on! Come on! There we go. He got up. We got Vessela up. We got everyone up. It was harder than it needed to be, if we're being honest, right? But ENCE managed to get everyone up the elevator. Everyone is now on the top floor, but here comes Rajaro. Boop is good from Massa. And Rajaro's going to have to regroup with team. Takes a big chunk of damage, and Kev happy to be frisky. We're actually going to drop on Rajaro here. Annihilation is popped to keep him alive. Beat as well, but not in time to save Kai. And the Bob has come out. It's forced him all back. Later Annihilation from Vessela, but he's getting shot in the back by Bob. Bob is doing so much damage to him. Oh, it's a hell of a Bob, actually. But Bob has done everything for Ataraxia here, and this cart is going to roll on forward. Kev is going to have to desperately try and play his life, but oh, they're coming for him. Gala's going to get a peek, but Kev gets back inside. Holding on top. Early attempt is good. Sauna's just found him. Now the Captive Sun over the top. Oh, they are all going to die here. Surely the damage has been done. There's no backline. Vesta's going to take a big damage. Shockwave is going to drop for the finish. And oh, this is a scary situation. This is a scary situation. Kai is going to die late. Honestly, I know people always say it about Gala. They say on Kiri, on Illari, he's got the aim. He will hit the shots. But he's actually been playing, so aggressively. And you can maybe make an argument that he shouldn't be allowed to be doing some of these moves, and ENCE could do a better job shutting him down, blah, 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 blah. But Gala's making a lot of aggressive moves. He's clearing out a lot of angles. He's being very proactive, and I like to see it. Drop down. High noon to try and take the space back here from Kai. They do clear everything out. They're really trying to hunt Sauna out. Sauna will double blink out. They've managed to avoid this for now. Chance to push with Window if they want here from Kanale. There it is. Window's quite early and quite shallow. Ghost still has his window, so they'll get a bit of cart progress, but they have to be ready for the turn from Ghost right now. We've seen Ghost use these windows really aggressively. Looks like he wants to turn the corner. He's going to do it again here. Drops it. Shifts everyone through. They will get slowed on the window, but he's going to pocket Kai through all of it. And Kai, they do catch Gala. Obviously, without a Lucio, it's much harder to take a step back from a lot of these windows. And ENCE get a big stabilization fight, but there's still 3 minutes on the time bank. Now the Bob comes in. It catches quite a few people, actually, and Vestler's in a bit of an awkward situation. Rajaro's going to get aggressive off the back of that Bob as well. And, oh, they catch Ghost, actually. Ghost was trying to pocket everyone out and kill Bob, but probably wasn't worth it. I think everyone was out. Now the beat comes in from Massive. They need to turn kills with it. Gala's going to go back. Lamp is good for Shockwave, but Shockwave needs more and more help. Captive Sun to try and turn it. He's got it. Suzu is... they're okay for now, actually. Okay for now. Gets one kill, and Kai's managed to get the trade. Annihilation on point, and this will be the stabilization for ENCE. Will be the stabilization. Just Gala left now, and he can't win a 1v4. I know it cost him a lot. It cost him a lot. It looked like they managed to survive that beat, at least initially. But eventually, Kai and Kev find the breakthrough. 2 minutes left. Gala is going to go Lucio now as well. Do we see a swap from Shockwave as well, or is he sticking the Ash? Sticking the Ash. Obviously a nice big long sight line around this area from Shockwave that he can play in. We're going to move the car up to the corner again. We see Ghost and Kev will keep an eye on high ground. Sauna's going to come through there as well. Slow and steady. Trying to find the slow onto Master. Shockwave's going to peek on his left-hand side, actually. Looking for some kind of opening. Kai, happy to fight him. Magnetic Grenade comes through. Dynamite now onto Kai, and the window, instant headshot from Shockwave. Now he's looking for Ghost, he's got one more. 3 for Shockwave. Oh, Vestler's the wrong side of the window. And there we go, immediate pick. Full cap, time in the back, C9. Massive will not be making it. And Ataraxia with the full cap. They did have a mighty old time bank for third, but third is quite tricky. So, still happy to complete that one and put themselves in a pretty strong position overall.
Initiating match.
And now the task ahead of ENCE. The task ahead of ENCE is substantial. They have to full cap Hollywood. They have to full cap Hollywood with at least some time on the clock to force an overtime round. They then have to win that overtime round. And then they have to go win Rialto. But let's not worry about Rialto right now because they have to find a way to deal with this double flex comp. So far, it's not working. Generally, when you see a team play double flex, the big limitation is the Lucio comp. Like, if there's ever like a split, you know, there's like 2 people on one side of the map and 2 people on the other side, is the Lucio comp can just sort of tempo one of the ways, you know, and they can just 5-man push and take a 5v3 or a 5v2 or whatever it is. It doesn't feel like there's too many opportunities when that's happened. It's obviously slightly trickier in Hollywood, and we're actually going to get double hit scan Bap Ilari out. So the damage is substantial, to be clear. The damage is substantial on this Ataraxia roster. Holding onto the high ground for now. Now has to be careful. He has to be soaky. He has to lamp, actually. Oh, don't want to have to lose lamp in that situation. Rajaro is now on the high ground, but they're going to have to concede it. Still no lamp for a pretty big window of time. And ENCE, they're on Sojourn. They're on Lucio. The slow comes in. They force them all back into the corner. The only one with an angle is this turret, and that goes down now. Kevster is pressuring Gala back. They're all grouped up. Can they find a push timing? Vesselers has no form, though. He has to just block with it. Will give a shield, and they keep forcing point, actually. Kev has this off angle. Sauna's going to push him now. Drops the turret. Kevster is behind. Fighting everyone behind. Here comes Vessler from the front, but no, Mass is going to die for it. Gala with the headshot, and they found a way to stabilize. They absorb all the pressure. Kai's going to swing in for one last desperate trade, and is Kevster getting out of this? Oh, maybe. Maybe, no. Shockwave was there. You could hear the footsteps behind him coming. There we go. Ghost has the Kitsune Rush. Lots of ults coming up. It's going to be it's actually a really early window from Knale. This is too early. This will be an easy disengage for ENCE. They'll take that one for free. They have got Kevster through the right with this pulse bomb. I imagine they'll still want to clear top before they go. Gala is watching Kev like a hawk, though, not letting him move. Vessler coming through main, drops the slow onto the top. Kev goes for it. Massa's going to dive in as well. Captive Sun catches Massa, though. He's still not close to beat. Kitsune rush through. They kill Sauna. How much more can they get? Annihilation, though, from Rajaro. Should seal the deal. Does end up being quite expensive, though, does it not? What was this? 4 ults in the end. I know they used the window before the fight, but Captive Sun, Bob, and the Annihilation. So they hold, but it's so expensive. Massa now does have this beat in 15% time. They'll have Overclock, they'll have Annihilation. Kev is going to go Genji. Probably true that Genji's going to feel quite nice, especially into the Ashe. Probably slightly nicer into the Alari as well, I think. I guess the shift is quite annoying. The, like, Alari's, like, jump. Sauna is going to have the Molten Core. And honestly, it needs to be a pretty big Molten Core to try and disengage and live all of these ults. Has to use it. Probably has to use it defensively just to try and live something. Here comes the push. Annihilation comes out. Just needs to peel for his team with it. Rajaro's going to kill Ghost, actually. Kai's trying to swing with this Overclock. He's 1 HP, though. He's going to die. It's a 2-man beat. It's a 2-man beat. Can they live, though? They've still lost Rajaro and Gala. The beat wasn't pretty, but the damage might have been done. Sauna trying to deal with this Genji now. He's going to push down. Can he finish him? He can. Needs to run away from this. Run away from Vessler. Vessler will clean it up. Shockwave's 1 HP as well. And Vessler, along with the respawning Ghost, might have just done it. The slow as well. Rajaro has to back out. And ENCE. Sigh of relief. Sigh of relief. They've given themselves a chance. Both teams on the high ground now. Just trading damage. We see Sauna move on to Echo now as well. An interesting choice. They get the slow onto Vessler. And actually, Sauna's behind him here, but he doesn't realize Vessler's dropping off, so he doesn't get the stickies on Vess. Vess is going to come back to the high ground here. Shockwave always super close, actually, but they do manage to hold on to the high ground. Now Massa with the big boop. Shockwave is alone on the floor. He will die. Massa managed to find the opening there. Big boops from Massa. And this will allow ENCE to keep the ball rolling. They lose Ghost again, though. But Kiryu can be back quickly. Kiryu can be back quickly. Onto high ground now. Kiryu available for Ghost. ENCE need to try and keep this momentum going, but because they used all 4 ults in the fight on first point, they now have 4 ultimates again here at Ataraxia, which will be a big stabilization. Playing around jail, though, so the angle isn't great looking up at Kai and Vess here, but Rajaro's managed to stop the point, but Vessler wants to go aggressive. Defensive Captive Sun. Gala, they were all DPing Gala. He can't find anything but it helps. They're just going to drop it on Vessler, but Vessler will survive it. Vessler won't just survive it. He's thriving. He's cleaning everyone up. Sauna's able to get 1 trade. It is the source of healing. Sauna's got 2. He's got a healing pylon up there as well, but he's just going to have to die on point, and the damage is done. They tried to use those ults defensively, but they all did a good job to DPing in that Captive Sun, so Gala couldn't find the value. He's back on Lucio now. They're going to Bob to touch. Bob is booped. Gala needs to make the touch. They Suzu him on. Bob is forcing. He's helping. Massa with a 3-man beat, trying to force it over. This Bob is still doing damage. Bob will get Massa. Rajaro now has 4 on point. I think Ataraxia are holding. Kai has the angle, though. He's got Overclock. He's got 1. Rajaro was weak on point. He needs so much help. He gets the Suzu. He has shield. Kai still has rail, but he's low. He's low. Vessler is low as well. Kev is still behind, though. Never rule out Kev. He's half HP. He's going for it. No, he's shut down by Kanale. But Dink is good. They're on Lucio Kiri. It's a bit of a weird comp now, but they've got the hold in 45 seconds. 45 seconds. ENCE need to cap. Oh, no, ultimately, they need to cap with time on third as well. But first things first, all they've got is a Kev pulse bomb. Sauna has one too. Kaneo really close in this Kitsune rush as they try and come top. Kev is marking Sauna, doesn't want that pulse bomb being delivered to his team's back door. Now the Kitsune rush, they force them all back. Suzu has been used, maybe a chance for Kevster. He's looking for it now. Kev's just going to go to point, actually. Do they know? Do they know? Yep, he pulls a few people to drop. And actually, ENCE wants to come up. ENCE want to come up the elevator? No? No, they're going underneath. Are they going to force point? They do have Annihilation advantage here, but Gala nearly has the beat. If they find a push timing, Shockwave's going to get onto the jail cell here, but Kai's there. The push is good. Ghost and Kai are massive. They've taken the high ground, but they've lost Vessler. Gala gets the beat. They'll survive for Pulse. Overtime. Sauna's got Massa. It's too little, too late. They are out of it. Ghost gets one. It's not enough. Ataraxia. It's 2-0. It's 2-0. ENCE find themselves on the wrong side of this one. And what a victory. Honestly, I didn't give Ataraxia too much hope coming into this one. This is gonna be the one on third though. Was actually a good play. Gets both picks. Can't ask for much more from old Shockwave in that one. And it's all worked out. All worked out, has it? My God. All right. Should we go back? Let's do this. Can I get a scoreboard going? If I'm good, I can get a scoreboard going. Can I do... Wait, let me do that. Oh, what a game, everyone. What a game. ENCE now leaves the big three. Rajaro for Finland. I mean, he played well, no? Did anyone see this result coming, honestly? Honestly, anyone expect this? I don't think so. I don't think so. All right, let's get a scoreboard going. Let me do it on... Let me change the view, actually, so you can all see it fully. Where's my browser? Here. There we go. There we go. So I don't know if there's going to be too much to read into this. We can take a look, though, right? We can take a look. Oh, wait, where's... I'll keep my cam off just so you can see. Or maybe I'll just move my cam. Hold on. We have the technical skills to handle this. We have the technical skills to handle this. And then I'll just move myself. Oh. Thank you, Stixar. Thank you. But Ataraxia on top. Rajaro. Rajaro celebrating. I mean, it was a good performance. Good performance. If Sauna's around, he can come on. We are on a bit of a delay, but we can make it work. So I realise you're not going to hear this for a minute. Hold on. Let me get my way out of the way of this scoreboard first. This is round one. This was the, Let me see. Let me drop Sauna a message. Where is he? I'll message the big man. We'll see what Sauna says. I'm sure he'll be happy to gloat. Happy to celebrate. And honestly, Ataraxia played well. I thought Gala actually had a crazy good game. All of the captive sons look pretty reasonable. Lots of important picks. Shut down Kevster a lot. Caught Massa a lot, trying to clear him as well. I think it can be deceptively hard sometimes. Deceptively hard to deal with like an Alari. If the Alari already has position and has space, it can be really hard to actually clear an Alari out of that. And I think that's some of what we saw as well. So yeah, round two, scoreboard, reasonable scores. I mean, it was competitive rounds both time, right? Even though ultimately Hollywood didn't end that close. We see Gala here, 21-6, seems quite reasonable. High damage from Shockwave, as you would expect from the Ash, top of the damage. similar round one. Played a good amount of Ash as well. High damage for Shockwave. Gala, reasonably high damage as well. Actually, not really high damage on this one. All right. Wait, I'm getting the big man from Sauna. I'm getting the response from Sauna. Let's invite Sauna. Right. Yeah. Alright, let's go back to this screen then. Hello, hello.
Yeah, that was good.
Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
Realistically then, what were the expectations coming into this one?
I mean, I was pretty confident. Like, if you watch our game against FACEIT, like, we had that shit as well.
How have you been finding, because obviously you guys are in a pretty unique situation with both Kaneo and Gala being on the team, so you want to stay away from Lucio where you can. How have you found trying to work these comps into all these different maps when you're really like the only team playing it in a lot of these situations, and there's not really like many teams to copy or many places to start?
Yeah, obviously, it's kind of sad putting Gala and Lucio, but like anytime we can put him on flex support, like we obviously gonna do it. Like, that guy's insane on flex support. He should be starting on like top team as flex support, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I don't know why that is, but he always seems to find himself in this second support, like second flex support role. Even though I agree, I think he's definitely good enough to start. So if we go back through the maps a little bit then, so Busan, you guys were probably pretty happy to get Busan in the map draft, right?
Yeah,
like,
I don't know, like when we started the draft, like we were just, I don't know, they just picked our maps.
Yeah, like when I looked at the map pool and I was like, Busan, Hollywood, and then Rialto to finish, you probably felt pretty confident overall in how that draft went for you.
Yeah, the draft was like perfect for us, I would say.
So then, I mean, even though it was the best map, obviously Sanctuary went your way, which maybe you would expect, right? The double flex team get to win the double flex map, Ilari versus Brig. But then Mecha Base was a wipeout, right? Didn't even really get a look in.
Yeah, I was just scrolling on me. I have like 5 minutes playtime on that. On me.
Is it because obviously you've got Cloud on the roster as well? If you would ever have to play it for more than a stage, would it become like a Cloud map essentially then?
I mean, we'll see. I can probably try the May out a bit, but
You can step it
yeah,
up.
Cloud's obviously gonna May. If I'm like awful on that shit, like we'll just play with Cloud. If May's better.
And then Downtown just felt like one big dogfight after one big dogfight. How was like? How
it
were
felt like a
comms in
long.
that one?
I mean, don't remember, not gonna lie, but it felt like a one long fight. We won it, so.
And then as we get into Hollywood, the attack actually goes quite perfect. Really, it felt like Gala did loads on Hollywood ultimately.
Yeah, Gala was doing bits.
So then once you get the full cap, and then you got to be feeling pretty confident. Do you have like, is there anyone in your who's like telling you, because you don't have a coach, right? So it's just you guys in comms and Cloud, I guess, as well between maps. Who's in charge of like the speech in these moments, right? Who's keeping everyone on track?
But I don't think there's like a single guy. It's like a team effort.
Yeah.
Shockwave's pretty good with that. He's like our most experienced player, so probably him. But it's like a team effort now.
And then we saw you pull out the Torb. Everything was going fine. You just kind of over-ulted on that first point, I think, on the, maybe it was the third fight, ultimately. And then you were just in, like, this really difficult situation.
Yeah.
So then, oh, go on.
Yeah, go on.
I was going to ask, so where do you think you are now, then? Because, like, I guess, obviously, you've beaten beaten ENCE. Didn't beat Twisted Minds, but felt like you should have beaten Twisted Minds, essentially.
I mean, I think we should be in like the top 4 conversation now.
Yeah,
like,
obviously.
I think
go on.
depends on the day and the meta as well, like who beats who. But I think actually probably the best one now, by far, at least on scrims and shit.
Yeah, I think that's how a lot of people feel. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think Twisted and ENCE are like a lot more beatable than before, maybe. But
Well, yeah, ENCE
Yeah.
going through some changes as well, but obviously your team's like even newer in reality, right? Like just 2 people from 2 different teams, and then like Rajaro thrown in as well.
yeah,
Can you talk to me a bit about Rajaro? Because maybe like people seeing like a couple of people from Ataraxia or a couple of people from Ex Oblivion makes sense, right? Two halves of some good players on 2 teams coming together. But how did you guys settle on Rajaro as the tank for this team?
our tank options were a bit limited, but I like know Roger from ranked. I always win with him in ranked. He's like champ in ranked. He's a grinder, so it just made sense, you know. Just give him a chance. He's been playing pretty well. Like I'm honestly impressed.
Yeah, no, I thought he played really. I thought he was probably one of the. You and him were probably, I think, maybe the best performers in the Twisted Minds game, despite the result. And then I think again here, going up against Vess, not an easy one, and not easy to play Ram without the speed either. Like as much as he does, you know. I think it's actually a much trickier job for him without that.
Yeah, it is. I think he's really impressed me. Like he's adapted pretty fast.
And then looking ahead, next week's games are going to be Quick Esports, which is like the old D Impero, and then Super Shy as well. What's the... Oh, actually, you have 3 games. You have SSG as well next week. So it's actually... no, sorry, not SSG. You have... Oh, yeah, SSG. So SSG, Super Shy, and Quick Esports all next week. So actually, a massive week.
Yeah, I think the SSG game is gonna be tough. They probably have the advantage, but we have the underdog mentality. You know, we can punch up like we did today. And the other 2 games, I think we should win those.
Yeah, I feel like the SSG one's always going to be tough, but the other ones are like, you win those games and you set yourself up for like, those are the important games to win to like, to make sure you get like good seeding going into top 8 and everything, you know?
Yeah.
Do you worry that because you are like this double flex team that ultimately like, if a team solves it, then you've got no like plan B?
I mean, we can play Gala and Lucio and play other stuff if it's needed. Like, I think Lucio's actually fine. Like, he can work on it for sure.
Yeah, no, I guess if you only need it in like a few situations, or it's like a plan B anyway, right?
Yeah.
All right then. Anything else you want to shout out? Any big moments you remember from the game? I feel like you actually had a pretty good game.
Yeah, it went pretty well. Not too much. It was fun playing against my Finnish homies.
Yeah. Come out on top. King of Finland right now.
Got pretty good feeling against them. For Roger as well, for sure. Like, he wanted to be Team Finland, and now he got like the mention list as well. So.
Well, he's made a pretty good case for it here, I think. All right then. I'll let you go then, Sauna. I do appreciate you coming on.
Thanks for having me.
We'll see you next week. Congratulations again. Take care.
Thank you.
All right. Nice of Sauna to stop in. Where am I going? Okay, so yeah, I think for me, if I had to look over the course of this map or course of this series and pick like a player of the match, who am I picking? Is it probably Gala? I feel like Gala did so much. I think Sauna had a good game. Rajaro definitely had a good game. Honestly, I could be convinced it was Rajaro, but I think actually, yeah, I think Gala. I think I was actually really impressed with Gala. Probably player of the match for me, Rajaro close behind. I think Shockwave obviously had a lot of big moments, to be fair. But also, it just worked, right? It felt like there was maybe a compositional solution that ENCE didn't have. They didn't have a great answer for this. You saw a few times they tried to maybe on, like, especially like Hollywood Attack, they tried to sort of ramp up the aggression a little bit. But Ataraxia just seemed to be able to absorb all of this pressure. Dealt with everything. But that wraps us up for this match.